Like the Indians don't fight back, the Hispanics don't fight back, the Asians don't fight back.
Y'all can tell me if it's just me, but I just been feeling like this entire year I've been finding out that literally everybody hates Black Americans, even Black people all around the world. And no shade, that's probably why our ancestors said all skin folk ain't kin folk. But at the same time, I feel like the way that people feel about us is the way they should actually feel about white people, because we didn't do anything to you.
To start off this video,
Dr. Claude Anderson said it. We have no friends. We all know the dislike for Black Americans is nothing new. But I've never taken that dislike as a knock against my ethnic group. I've always taken it as a slight against the intelligence level of anybody who isn't Anglo-YT. Because I get what they're trying to do by systematically oppressing people globally to maintain power. But if you're part of another ethnicity and you got a problem with a group of people who have never done you wrong on a mass scale, while at the same time looking for validation and proximity to the same people who has enslaved or colonized your people, then it's obviously something going on within your mind and your community that has nothing to do with mere minds. Now today, we're about to react to a video from Antonio Speaks. So let's dive in and see if he can break down why everybody seems to have a problem with me and my people.
Black Americans versus the world. That's what it seemed like. So recently, New York City elected its new mayor, Zohran Mamdani. Now he seems like a cool dude. He kind of reminds me of Barack Obama. A lot of billionaires are against him, high-ranking elite people, so that's always a good thing. But during his winning speech, he says something kind of alarming.
New York will remain a city of immigrants, a city built by immigrants, powered by immigrants. Tonight, led by an immigrant.
Now, although he was just referring to New York, my point is going to still stand. Black Americans are never given the proper credit. We all
Facts, or just included in the conversation. Have you noticed that? Like the Republicans, of course, they ain't gonna say nothing to us or try to give us any tangibles or even care about the voting base that we have. But the Democrats, have you noticed that they don't have no problem saying something to every other group specifically, but they never say nothing to Black Americans? They will never say nothing specific. They won't even say our names. They'll stomp the yard and bang the table for everybody else, but for us, they won't even specify us as our own unique ethnic group. That's a little strange to me.
all know who really took a hand in building this country. Now, I will say maybe he didn't mean this with malice intent, or it maybe slipped his mind. This is why I feel the way I do about politics. I don't think either side have the best interest of black people. Now, today we're going to talk about how black people, but black Americans in specific, seem to be the most hated worldwide. Now, for one, this is not a diaspora war video. I am a proud African American. Emphasis on the African, okay? I will say this.
I got to push back a little bit on my bro. That's my bro too. But I don't go by African American. I think that was one of the most detrimental things that we've ever done. And not because I don't have African genetics, not because I have something against my African cousins. That ain't it. It's a love for my own unique ethnic group and our history that we have. Mom Donnie's African American. Elon Musk is African American. So when you put that African on there, we just become this broad minority group who don't know who we are. Address me as foundational Black American, or you can just call me Black American. Either one's fine for me. As long as we have our own designation, I'm good, because we are a unique ethnic group. Like when I want to go around my Jamaican cousins, right? They have their own, they bring the jerk chicken, I bring the fried chicken. And we share in each other's unique ethnicities, because there's beautiful elements to all of them. I want to go around my Nigerian cousin, right? And he shares his culture with me. I share my culture with him. But when you paint us in this broad brush as African Americans, then what culture are we left with? We're just in a lost land. Some people who supposedly don't know who we are, even though there's no truth to that when we paint ourselves as African American. I just had a daughter a few months ago, and after I had her, I really start stomping the yard about making sure that we get some specific tangibles for Black Americans. We have to. And if we don't designate ourselves, right, then we're just going to be a part of this broad minority coalition where we don't never get anything. And again, it's not about hate towards any other melanated ethnicity. It's about us all being unique, us all having our unique history, us all sharing in each other's unique history and respecting that.
I do understand a lot of the arguments. Many African Americans want to just stand alone. The same way that Jamaicans do or Haitians, we just want to be Black Americans. Now, the Black American experience is very unique. The rights that our people have fought for and are continuing to fight for literally benefit everyone. Let's take DEI, for example. The biggest beneficiary to that is white women. Crazy, right? And to bring back up immigrants, the reason that most of them are able to get into America is because of Black Americans. So it's just a huge slap in the face that most of these communities are anti-Black.
You know, Black Americans are the only group that fights back against white supremacy. No other group fights back against white supremacy. Every other group tries to like thread the line and like not say too much. You go through Vivek Ramaswamy's comic section and it's just white people telling him to go back to India, that they don't want him here, calling him a G. You go through FBI Director Kash Patel's comic section on Twitter and it's them doing the same thing, telling him to go back to India. He shouldn't be here. He shouldn't have the job. He's DEI. You know, we're the only, even like the Indians don't fight back, the Hispanics don't fight back, the Asians don't fight back.
Y'all can tell me if it's just me, but I just been feeling like this entire year I've been finding out that literally everybody hates Black Americans, even Black people all around the world. And no shade, that's probably why our ancestors said all skin folks ain't kin folks. But at the same time, I feel like the way that people feel about us is the way they should actually feel about white people, because we didn't do anything to you.
To start off this video,
Dr. Claude Anderson said it. We have no friends.
take a look at this screenshot. Why are the Latino numbers so high for Trump? Now, my personal experience with Latinos and Hispanics has been very chill for the most part. I live down south in South Carolina, so I don't experience Hispanics as often. So my experiences may be different from someone living in Texas or California.
Can we just discuss the hidden animosity the Latino community has with the Black people, bro? Because to be completely honest, man, you would think that being minorities would band us together. But the essays down in San Diego still acting like the Jim Crow laws are still in effect. They're like, chill.
These Houston Mexicans are racist. The Houston Latino people are racist. I'm telling you, listen, I have been dealing with them for over 12, 13 years. You feel what I'm saying? These folks are racist, bro.
Let me tell you, here in Texas, the amount of racism I've ever even come close to experiencing from Mexicans. When I was a dancer, when I was a stripper, the way that the clubs were so racist. There was a time I went to a club out in Texas and the club told me that, oh, they don't hire girls like me. This is a club full of a bunch of, I would say, illegals. And they said, oh, they don't take girls like us. We should go down to the club down the street, the Black Club. Karma is beautiful. Karma is beautiful. And you know what's funny? I went by that club a couple days ago. It's empty. It's empty. Even though the racism applied to me, I still voted against all this shit. I voted against it. And guess what they did? Voted to hurt me.
Coming from a...
Yeah, you see that a lot. It feels like to me that as a Black American, we are the only group who gets shamed for putting us first. Every other ethnic group puts themselves first, which I think is the right thing to do. If my Somalian cousins get something, right, they're going to make sure they take care of their community first. If my Nigerian cousins get something, they're going to make sure they take care of their community first. My Jamaican cousins, they're going to take care of their community first and then spread out. It feels like we're the only community who gets shamed for putting ourselves first. You ain't going to shame me for that. Again, once I had a daughter, I'm turning it to another level. I don't care if I don't get anything. But they gonna have to give some set-asides for my baby girl. And in order for that for them to do that, we're gonna have to start putting ourselves and our community first, like every other ethnic group does. This isn't nothing new.
Hispanic, Puerto Rican and Dominican or whatever, right? Hispanic people, they racist as fuck, bro. In my family, I'm the only one that got this texture hair. Like, I remember as a kid, like, I love my uncle, but he crazy. But I remember my uncle as a kid telling me, "Oh, like you got that peasy hair and shit like that." Cause everybody in my family got that slick shit. That you know what I'm saying? So I'm always thinking, I'm like, all right, my hair peasy, my hair bad, and that's until I met my wife, and she taught me about hair textures. Now I'll be going down memory lane and shit. I'm like, damn. My family really used to be racist as shit.
This isn't surprising to me. The whole entire world is anti-black. And this is because of colorism. Mexico was colonized by white Spaniards. And the closer you were to whiteness, the better. So, I mean, I get it.
A lot of people don't understand when I say that Mexicans are culturally racist. Part of our culture is to frown upon dark-skinned people. It's been passed down to us by the Spaniards, by our colonizers, by the people that conquered us, taught us that dark skin is inferior, light skin is superior.
Now, the next minority I want to discuss is the Asian American community. I already did a video on my second channel talking about the pick-me Asian epidemic because a lot of them, they love that white validation of white gaze. But we do got to talk about the very much anti-blackness within the Asian community.
Why don't you like us black people? Non-American Asians always gave me the cold shoulder. American Asians were cool and I often hang out with them. Are they just not used to us?
Partially.
Sad to say, but I know that there's anti-blackness very much so in a lot of Asian American communities. And obviously, unfortunately, anti-blackness is global. And I think like
it's a very long historical answer.
Yeah.
Some of it has to do with not being used to it. Okay, so colonization happened throughout the whole world when white colonizers took over Asia, Africa, all the other continents. And with that came the belief of anti-blackness that was instilled upon all of these communities.
It's also, you guys want to be down. That's what it is. It's like we're the friend, right, that they can stomp on in order to get approval from the white people. So the YT people, because they got a serious problem with us, right? And because not only because they spread the propaganda, but because these guys are like, we don't want to make the YT people mad. We don't want to upset the YT people. So in order to not upset the YT people, let's make sure we're not friends with those guys. And that's the issue we're having.
Now, once those colonizations ended, you were left with this homogenized community where they don't know anyone who don't look like they're all white, all Asian, all South Asian, whatever it may be. And then all of a sudden you fast forward to having technology and Western media, because again, controlled by whiteness, is pushing out this message of that Black communities are gangsters, do this, they do that. And then that media gets pushed out into the world in the form of movies and TV shows. And now you take this homogenized community who has learned anti-blackness through colonization and stuff like that, on top of the fact that it's then mixed with people who are learning about these races for the first time through fictionized television that is controlled by white media. And then you have this biased look. So when they meet Black people for the first time, they're having to reconcile what they have been essentially brainwashed into thinking versus then trying to figure out what that means when they meet you and they're like, but you're not any of these things.
This claim, unsupported by facts, is the result of a well-funded misinformation campaign scapegoating Black people for anti-Asian violence. The president, who spread anti-Asian rhetoric that led to the increase in anti-Asian violence, not Black. Robert Aaron Long, not Black. The guy in New York City who attacked 7 Asian American women in one afternoon, not Black. We are done listening to oppressors tell lies about the people whom they oppress. And while Asian Americans did experience the greatest % increase in hate crimes, do you know who experienced the greatest increase in incidents of hate crime during that same period of time? Black people.
The anime community can be pretty racist. And that's not just coming from like Black cosplayers giving comments like, oh, this character isn't Black. But even within the representations of Black or darker skinned people in anime, for example, this, whatever the fuck this is, this, The list goes on.
Now, there was recently an incident that happened on TikTok where an Asian woman, actually she was mixed with white, so she was a mixed Asian woman, and she was discussing how whenever she goes to, you know, an Asian grocery store, she side-eyes the white people.
I really am a nice person, but I can't stop myself from giving snark to the white people at Asian grocery stores. I'm sorry, I'm not sorry, I can't stop doing it. Like, I just side-eye every time I see you there. What are you doing here?
As a young black man, I understood her. It's the same sentiment that I say all the time. It's ghetto or it's cool until a white person does it. With us, you know, our rap music is always demonized. The way we dress.
I'm always wondering, if you black in here, this ain't even just for black Americans. If you black, period, ain't you always wondering when somebody who's white or of lighter skin is looking at you funny or something, you're always wondering, is that person racist? Is that person looking at me because I'm dark skinned? I'm always thinking with the side eye too, but in a different form. I'm always thinking, is that person giving me the side eye because they're racist? Or is that person looking at me like that because they have disdain towards me? So I'm always wondering that.
Demonized, but then when they do it, it's trendy, it's cool. This is the same way a lot of Asians feel. Throughout history, they always made fun of them, saying, oh, they're eating cats and dogs, they're doing this and that. Now you want to go shop at their stores and eat like them? Okay, I understand your pain. But like expected, y'all, some of the biggest Asian creators on TikTok came out and defended they white people.
I just saw this hideous video by this Asian American content creator who basically confessed that she side eyes and judges any non-Asian patrons when she goes to whatever version of Asian grocery store she visits. I find this content to be so freaking tone deaf and disgusting.
I can't tell if you were just joking, but you should take this down immediately. The thing is, we all are foreigners in other people's spaces too, which means that we all experience feeling like a fish out of water.
Now, like I stated,
boy, I told y'all that's the problem we're having. People from other ethnicities and races, they love white mommy and white daddy. They love them. Some people from my ethnicity do it. Boy, it's an epidemic.
I'm not Asian, and I feel where she was coming from. You know, seeing those other creative videos kind of enraged me. I'm like, bruh, stop tap dancing for them folks, all right?
I stand with the H-Mart girl. I stand with side-eyeing white people who come into Asian spaces after spending decades, i.e. my entire childhood, watching them make fun of my food. Some of the big Asian creators who are like piling onto that girl, they be married to white men. They got that white man by making themselves small, bringing him to dim sum, bringing him to the community center, bringing him to Chinese school.
I kind of roll my eyes even more at these creators because one of them has a white husband, the other one mostly dates white people, and the third one's unknown. So already, right at the bat, I'm like, okay, I don't know if you can speak on this issue because you are already a little bit biased, and I'm sure you want your husband's age. 5 minutes of being stared at in a grocery store, it will never be oppressive to white people. I think that's the nuance that all these creators are missing. I don't know why they're acting in arms like this is the most oppressive thing that we as people of color could possibly do to white people in a grocery store. And to say that we have to be super accepting. I'm not saying that white people can't shop at H-Mart. I'm just saying we don't need to celebrate that they are willing to shop at H-Mart. We don't need to celebrate that they're open-minded and want to try a new culture. They can just do that and exist. And we don't need to give them validation because that is the lowest bar for white pandering that I've ever seen.
Once all these minorities realize, bro, that no matter how much you cry, no matter how much you tap dance, no matter how much you bootleg, they'll never see you in the same light as them. Let's take example for our next community we're going to discuss, the Indian community or Southeast Asians. Now,
Vivek and Dinesh D'Souza. Dinesh D'Souza then built a whole career of being anti-black.
Indians living in America, dog. Statistically, they are great. They make the most money, have the lowest crime rate, yet still in 2025, they face a lot of racism.
Indian racism has actually gone too far. And what if I told you it was coming from little kids in elementary schools? If you guys didn't know, I worked as a part-time coding teacher where I would go to different schools, host after-school programs, and teach kids how to code. Pretty sure the students assumed I was white or Mexican because they would always talk to me in Spanish and I would not understand it. I ended up telling them that I was Indian and I was actually born in India. Their first reaction was being surprised and they said, no way. Their second reaction was going on their laptop, searching up the Indian street food and showing it to me and asking me, is this the food in your country? Mister, did you eat this when you were in India? Their third reaction was going on the internet and playing that fucking, you know the song I'm talking about, right? And for the rest of the class, I lost their focus. I couldn't get them back together because they were just messing around. Even after calling the coordinator, they kept messing around and, you know, doing the same shit over and over.
I got hate crimed and
the white tees is notorious for going in Vivek's comments and going crazy on him. And he still want to be down. He had Dinesh D'Souza coming out trying to protect him. Now, all of a sudden, racism exists when they getting it. Not these two. I rock with them. I'm talking about Vivek and Dinesh. They be going, the white tees be going crazy in their comments. Man.
physically assaulted last night for being Indian, and I want to talk about it. I went to dinner with my friends last night. At the table sitting next to us were two couples that were absolutely wasted. When their food was delivered to them by the waiter, one of the girls knocked the food out of the waiter's hands, and words were being thrown around, which was crazy because there was not a single black person in sight. She then starts yelling at me, saying racist things about me being Indian, calling me the N-word. She walks up to me, punches me in the head twice, and then takes me by the hair, starts pulling my hair out of my scalp, holding me down. Every example of any person that looks like me fighting back flooded my brain, and I was genuinely too afraid.
Yo, recording me?
No, I'm on live stream.
Don't record me, buddy.
Fucking hell.
Right next to black people, Indians get the worst racism in my opinion. Most Indians have darker skin. I've seen Indians the same color as me or like even darker than me. So because anti-blackness is so global and colorism is global, the racism towards Indians is rampant. Now with this being the case, I feel like Indians and black...
What's crazy is they don't get it from us. Think about this. They're giving us the racism. We don't even give it to them. We still don't even give it back. It's a wild thing. If I go up to any of my black American friends, right, and ask them, give me an Indian trope. Tell me a racist joke about Indians. They'd be like, what? They wouldn't even think, there's not even a thing in our community. It's just not.
People should be closer or tight-knit, but that's not the case.
So whether this is within the country of India, or whether this is when Indian people immigrate to any part of the world, whether it be on the African continent, in North America, South America, wherever. And again, I'm not saying every single Indian person, but I'm talking about Indian people generally, our society, our culture, the belief systems that Indian people hold, etc. Indian people are extremely racist, especially towards black people.
So what's your name? Anand, can I see your ID or something? No, I mean, you can call the police, or I can call the police. Can I see your ID? Yeah. Let me see your ID. Yeah. Take out your ID and I'll take out my ID. Let me take out your ID and let me take out my ID. Okay, let's, can you get my phone? No, let's call the police. Give me a phone, let's call the police. I'm in my own neighborhood where I live at, working in my neighborhood by my house, and I have this man asking me, do I live here? Yes. And what's your name? Dude, I'm gonna start a civil lawsuit right now. That's what I'm gonna do. Absolutely. You gotta do it, man. But I want What's your name, man? Because I'm walking in the neighborhood where I live at, and I'm getting harassed. No, wait.
Mind you, in your country. This ain't even the Indians guy. This is not even your country. If that dude's black American, he sound like he is, he's in his country getting harassed by an immigrant.
Unnecessarily playing us.
But we took my copy of the class.
Yes, bring my phone. I don't have my phone. Get my phone.
Come with me and get the
phone.
phone.
I will. Get my phone. Because this guy will escape otherwise. Get my phone. Get my phone.
Come with me.
Yes. Get my phone now. Please. You see this man right here? I'm gonna keep him a distance back. He's steady walking up on me like this. You all see this? Yep. I know that this is not your house. This not my house, but I live in this area. You don't got it. Listen, I don't like. You don't live in this neighborhood. You don't know where I live at, sir. You can't not tell me where I live at, and I'm not gonna pull out my ID and show you where I live at. I know you live right here, and I live in this neighborhood. You have a blessed day, sir. No, you have a blessed day, sir.
But I won't out where you got, bitch. You got me up, nigga. Sitting here, going into a party, asking if you good. Bitch, you been staring at me with your fake ass eyelashes. I don't get out of my face.
Also, as of recently, Twitter had a new update. You can now see the country that these Twitter accounts are from. And guess what? Some of the biggest / white supremacy pages were from non-white people.
MAGA is freaking out right now because Twitter, which prefers to identify as X, released this new feature in which you could actually see the country of origin of an account. And it's now being revealed that a lot of these MAGA accounts out there with hundreds of thousands of followers that have a big influence online are actually based in other countries. The way my jaw stayed in place. So I could literally go through like 1,000 of these accounts, but I'll show you just a few. Like this account, America First Verified. Well, turns out this account is based in Bangladesh. How about America Man, based in Indonesia? What about MAGA Nadine over here? Oh, it's probably some dude based in Morocco. Okay, Mary Tiles, Texas, you sure post a lot of pro-MAGA stuff online. Oh, wait, you're from Russia? Interesting. Like I said, I could keep going and going. Nigeria. This is a major account that always gets Elon Musk's attention. This is based in India. This Ivanka Trump fan account based in Nigeria. This big MAGA account is based in Papua New Guinea. This one's from Serbia. Ultra MAGA Trump 2028, Nigeria. Dark MAGA Coin, Thailand. The MAGA Beacon, South Asia. MAGA Nation, Eastern Europe. Aaron Trump News, Eastern Europe.
Like, these pages are really part of the propaganda of why a lot of people feel the way they feel about black people. And with me seeing these accounts from Nigeria, it's like, damn, even other black people hate on black Americans.
No one, and I mean no one does anti-blackness better than a black immigrant or like a black person from the Caribbean or a black person from Africa or wherever else in the world that doesn't like African Americans. No one. And it's not even funny anymore. I'm legit concerned because they be the greatest coons. Like, they'll say the most.
I think the Ethiopians, I think they classify themselves as white. I think they do. And I didn't heard the Somalian say, I ain't black, I'm Somalian.
Out-of-pocket, outlandish stereotypes or negative thing about African Americans, and I have to think to myself, where did this come from? Who told you this information? How do you know this? And it's even crazy because sometimes you'll find people that haven't even been to America, has never encountered an African American in their lives saying these things. And it's crazy because the way they talk about African Americans, you think African Americans are the furthest demographic from them, right? Put a black immigrant that can't stand African Americans on the phone and you'll be talking to a nationalist. Oh, they're lazy, oh, they're thieves, this is what they do. They're criminals.
Yeah, they definitely come here, go off into their own enclaves, and make sure to stay away from us. Not all of them, of course, but there is it's a community thing where they say stay away from them black Akatas. Stay away from those Jareers. They got a bunch of pejoratives for us, and they will make sure, some of them, not all, to keep their distance from us as a collective. Now you got the cool ones. Of course, there's a lot of those, but as a collective, it's a community thing.
This is what white people say about you.
I feel like it's the media's fault. The way they portray Africa, you know what I'm saying, in teepees and huts, that's how we see Africans. And then the way they see black Americans is violence, gangs. So it's already a disconnect.
African immigrants do not view racism the same way as black Americans because we were looking at it from two completely different perspectives. Africans grew up in majority black nation, black culture, black leadership, and black everything being the norm on a day-to-day basis. It's not the core part of their identity because everyone is majority black when they look around. Black is the default. Off rip, they are not looking at things through a racial lens. But black people in America look at everything through a racial lens because we are the minority in a country that was built off of our oppression. And the entire system was designed not only to exclude us, but to capitalize off of that exclusion. So systemic oppression is the struggle that black Americans are dealing with on the home front. Struggles that people are dealing with in Africa are due to a failing or underdeveloped system. Poverty, corruption, lack of opportunity, economic instability, which is really the legacy of colonialism and neocolonialism. So in their minds, they see America as having a functioning system. They see America as full of opportunity compared to back in Africa.
Yep, they don't want to ruffle the feathers of the YTs. Now, why you messing with the white man? It is good in America. They can't even understand why we want to fight back. They don't get it because they don't want to get sent back to Africa. They don't really want to ruffle the feathers and get it popping. That's why it's kind of hard for us to connect. Because when they see us fighting back, they're like, no. It's amazing over here in America. And us black Americans, us foundational black Americans, we're saying, no, we need more. We're not satisfied. We're going to have to make this thing more equal. And that's where a little bit of the disconnect comes from.
They come here and they focus on individual advancement, where Black Americans see the system as being historically and currently rigged against us. We are not immigrants. We are people from whom system was explicitly built to oppose.
That's it for this video, man. If you are a minority, drop your thoughts down below in the comments.
My boy Tone cooked as usual. That's a great video. When we do these kind of videos, y'all, it's not even to divide us more. It's to get the information out there so we can have more of an understanding of what we're all going through. If we have more of an understanding of what we're all going through, now we can come together, have respect and love for each other's unique ethnicity, and then we can get something going. But until then, until we have this disconnect because we ain't having the hard conversations or because we don't want to understand each other, the divide is just going to keep growing. I don't think it was ever together, to keep it real. So there's nothing to divide if there's nothing together. But again, these kind of videos, what Antonio just did, hopefully what I just did, it's not to be divisive. It's to get more of an understanding of how the Black American thinks. Y'all can, if you're from another ethnicity, come in the comments and let me know how you think. Because once we have more of an understanding of each other, we're going to have a better opportunity to come together and get some stuff popping. Y'all, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm out.